Hey guys, it's Ash Pants. Today I'm doing a curl hair tutorial. So I'm going to show you how I get my wave and my curls. It's pretty much my everyday kind of go-to, well, the days I wash my hair. Alright, so a few things you're going to need. I love this Garnier Fructis Style Curl Sculpting Cream Gel. Don't use regular gel. Nobody likes a crunchy curl. And blow dryer. And obviously curling iron. I use a 1-inch barrel. That's what I prefer. That's what I think looks the best on most people. Okay. So when I get out of the shower, my hair is still wet. I do not brush it. Do not brush your hair. Okay, if you need to brush it before you shower, do that. But when I get out, I don't brush it. All I do is, if my part got messed up, I part it, separate it. I take this in about, I don't know, like a dime size amount at a time, and I work it up into my hair from the bottom to the top. I don't really put a ton on my roots because it's not going to really get that curled anyway. So I do that, and then I put it all the way around, even in the back, to get my natural wave to come out. Even if you don't have a lot of natural wave, like I know I have a little bit, it's not that much. Some people have really curly hair, some people have none. Don't skip this step, because what it does is it adds the volume that you're going to need to get, you know, kind of more of a bouncy wave and not something that's just like straight down. So anyway, this stuff's amazing. I love it. The extra strong, I've only seen one kind, so anyway, that works for me. Okay, so after I get all that stuff in, I'll kind of do this a little bit just to get my natural curl coming out like that. You can use a diffuser if you want. I'm lazy, so I don't. So I turn it on low. Obviously not going to turn it on, it'll be too loud, but I'm going to show you how I do it. So I turn it on low, the hottest it will go, because you're not going to spend that much time in one spot. So then I'll scrunch it up in my hand from underneath your curls up to the top. Doesn't really matter how it looks. Blow into your curl, hold your hand for a second, and then drop. And then do it again. Blow it again, and don't forget about the back of your hair. You want it to end up looking as good as the front, so I always end up grabbing the back. It's kind of harder, but come around, do this if you need to, and then yeah, just repeat on this side. Hold it for a second, drop. What this does is puts heat into your hair, gets your cuticle to open so that when it cools down, it holds that wave that you have. So this is what my hair looks like after doing that step. So now I'm going to show you how I curl it. I have another tutorial I plan on doing where it's like if I'm like going out or getting ready for something more fancy, I do it in a little bit different of a way, and it's kind of more structured, everything's perfect. For day to day, I like a little bit messier, kind of like more of a beachy look. That's what I prefer. So this is what this is for. Alright. So just make sure it's on and ready. So the pieces in the front, this is really important. I part middle. You can part side too, it doesn't really matter, but I think people always look the best when their hair is going away from their face. So I take a little section piece. For these pieces, I wrap. So just like this, hold it for a sec, let it out. So the first few, I'll probably do a couple like this. My second one, sometimes I hold it lower down. I don't get so close to the root. Just so it's a little more casual. You can tug it a little bit if it's a little too curly. Your fingers through it a bit. And then I usually do the other side. Sometimes the ends, they'll be a little bit frizzy from the product and stuff. That's okay. Just smooth them out a little bit. Same thing on the other side. Let it drop. This one's not as nice, but I don't like them being perfectly matched anyway. I think it looks more natural if they're a little bit different. And then the second piece back, I usually do the same thing too. And drop that one. So these front pieces, so that they're going away from your face, because I don't usually tuck my hair very often, so I like them so they're not hanging in my face. It's nice to make sure you wrap away from your face on both sides. Alright, so next thing is what I do is I try to find the pieces that aren't really waved, the ones that are a little bit more straight. I section those off, and I only do this for the top layer. Okay, so find the ones that are a little more straight, that maybe don't have as much wave or as much body. You're going to wrap just just random pieces. Same thing on the other side. Here's getting my face. For some reason the ends of this side are more tangled. It's weird. Okay. You really don't need to leave it in very long. It curls pretty quick and then they set. So see how this one's just more straight? It didn't get a lot of volume. That's kind of the ones you're going through. So then I usually have a side mirror that I use like in my actual bathroom. The lighting in there is not the best for this kind of thing, so out here, but do the best I can. And sometimes my roots are still kind of damp because I don't full on dry it, and that's okay too. Honestly, I do the steps. I do this and dry it a few times while I'm in between putting on my makeup. So I'll put my base on and then I'll do this and dry for a little bit, and then I'll go around my whole head and do that, so it gets a little bit of dryness, and then I'll do some blush and bronzer or whatever, and then I'll do it again. So in between putting on your makeup and drying, it gets pretty dry, but underneath I still have some dampness, and that's okay as long as your hair is just not like soaking wet. That's what you don't want. So keep going around, find those pieces. Obviously they're going to be in the back. In the back I know they're probably just more straight because the back of my hair usually is. So I always grab like the 3 top pieces in the back of my hair. So that one, I'll just take whatever's next to it. And try to point your curling iron down. If you point it other way, sometimes you get like a weird kink at the base. It doesn't end up looking very cute. Alright, so this is probably the last one I'll do as far as this method, wrapping. I just feel like this adds kind of a little bit of uniformity, and it ties in these pieces, and it just kind of gives it a little bit more of a polished look, even though you're going for beachiness. Alright, so then for the rest of it, my hair's pretty long, but even if it's short, this should be work too. So I usually start underneath. See how underneath these are all pretty straight? The thing about this is that most people aren't going to see this straight part here, so I don't really even bother curling it. So I'll take it, normal style curling. I start in the middle, and I just keep turning it until it's down, and I pull so that the end piece, it doesn't get curled. This is important. This is what gives it like that kind of beachiness, is that you don't want the very end to get curled. So let me show you again. Alright, so I have it here. Happens pretty quick, and then see that end piece is hanging, and I just pull straight. So they end up blending with how this is curled and these were straight. I just curl from the mid to the end so that it ends up blending all together. So then I'll part my hair where the curls are. I'll find the other straight pieces. This one's pretty straight. So again, start in the middle, flip it, and just keep working that piece of hair through your curling iron. And if it's a little too curled, I just pull it straight and drop it to let it set. So same thing on the other side. The underneath hair, it's straighter. Smooth it if you need to. Alright, and then same thing. So with these two, I'm curling this way away from my face and this way, even on the end pieces. To me, it just looks better and adds a little bit of uniformity, and they're kind of all generally waving the same way. That makes sense, hopefully. This one's pretty straight, so I'm just going to take the whole thing. And the cool thing about this is that you can have smaller pieces, bigger pieces, pieces that are not as curled, some that are more curled, and it's all good. So then the back hair pieces, see how these ones are curled? I kind of just toss those to the back. These are the ones that are underneath in the back that aren't as curled. So I'll just grab, like, this is a bigger piece. And then just pull it straight. Same for that. And see how this one's kind of like more straight. So then I just start looking at my hair, like what looks like it's straight and kind of out of place. This one does to me, so just go ahead and curl that. And then this is when you can also touch up the ends. So the ends of these ones are kind of going out nice. These are a little bit not. So what I do is just kind of mess with them a little bit. And then I can just curl just the ends if I need to. This is being weird. So, and if something looks off, just go ahead and recurl it. There's nothing wrong with that. Alright, so that's mostly the sides done. I always get a mirror and like a handheld mirror, or even like a makeup mirror, and check the back of your hair. Don't forget that people see around you 360 because you don't want to have a bunch of straight pieces and then everything looks amazing up here. So I always check with a mirror and make sure everything looks polished and together. But this gives you a general idea of kind of how I do it. In the back, if you can see higher up the pieces, go ahead and curl higher up. But I only do the wrapping for the top hair, and then everything else I pretty much do a normal curl. My technique is a little bit different than, you know, kind of just clamping at the ends and rolling it up. That's not good for your hair anyway, because your ends are, you know, prone to damage anyway. So if you start in the middle of the piece and then you're slowly working your way down and then pulling, it's a lot healthier for your hair because then the heat is hardly even on your ends at all. So there you go. I'm going to finish the back after I get off, but yeah, this is basically how I do my hair. I usually wash about every other day, sometimes 3. So this is usually how I wear it, like the first couple days. If I go 3rd day, I usually put it up. My roots get a little too greasy, but dry shampoo helps that on the 2nd or 3rd day. And so anyways, a blonde is easier to wear it, but even if you do this every day, you're not really using that much heat. You use a little bit of heat with the blow dryer and then with the curling iron, but it's really not that hard on your hair. So yeah, that's it. So let me know if you guys have any questions at all, or if there's anything I didn't cover. I do hairspray a little bit, kind of just a little bit to the side, and I'll spray like this just to kind of set the curls. I like a little bit of messiness, so sometimes I'll part them out a little bit like that. You could easily use like a smoothing cream and just work it into some of the curls if they've gotten a little too frizzy from the blow drying. Sometimes mine gets a little bit, so I'll have to put in a couple curls like are on the end of this one. They're like a little more frizzy, just smooth them down. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully this is helpful, and please, if you have any questions or anything, leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Alright, thanks guys.